Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, The Narcissist is Looking for a Character in His Movie. The Narcissist. We talked about the individual being selfish, self-absorbed. We talked about these people having a demonic spirit, if you will, in or around them. These are not the type of people that you can call friends. They use you and then discard you for new narcissistic supply. We have talked about our personal experiences. We've talked about the highs, the lows, and getting free. And now I am alerting some individuals who just might be connected with a familiar spirit or about to be. And that spirit, that narcissistic spirit, wants you to be a character in his or her movie. Okay? Because we do have those women who are narcissists as well. I've been around all sorts of people that exhibit the narcissistic traits. I myself have been influenced by those who were very selfish, okay, intimidating, and you had to beat their drum in the way that they wanted you to beat it, or else, okay? It doesn't make us bad people because we've been around folks who have been highly influential with their selfish ways, selfish attitudes, selfish, you name it. What makes you, though, a problem is when you carry on what you've learned from the narcissist. But if you fight up against that, if you are the type of person that you're like, look, I'm not going to make every conversation be about me. I'm not going to always get up thinking about what I want to do. I'm going to learn how to be of service to others. And when you fight up against all those selfish types of things that was put upon you, you are a better person because of it. But we got to talk about these narcissists who want us to be characters in their movies, so to speak. I'm just making it plain for some people because I know they like to watch a lot of television and they like to watch a lot of shows on the internet and elsewhere. The narcissist has a plan in his or her head of what they want their lives to look like. This fantasy thinking starts very young. Whether they are putting together a collage of things or they have snapped photograph after photograph and they have it or them all over the walls, or they have these sketches that they draw and they see what they want to accomplish, right? Just like the healthy, functional, normal person who comes up with a plan. But the difference between the healthy, functional, normal person who comes up with a plan is that that plan usually involves helping others in the long term, not with the narcissist. No, it's what's going to benefit me. Okay? So this fantasy, whether they wrote it, drew it, told people about it, screamed from the rooftops, the point is that this fantasy is supposed to play out in the way they want it to, and there's not supposed to be any improv whatsoever. You are not to show up and say whatever you want to say to make the character do something different or say something different or impact the narcissist movie in a different outcome. No. The reason why the narcissist picked many of us was because we fit the role. I even had an individual that said that he had seen a particular porno star, and when he seen me, he saw my face and was like, oh my goodness, she reminds me of the woman who I saw the other night in the porn. Come on now. A narcissist to his core. I came across another one, very much in tune to all sorts of movies and television dramas and whatever else. And he carried his life similar to that of a movie. funny, there were two movies that disturbed me, particular movie scenes that disturbed me before I met the narcissist, before I had kids, before I was sold out for the Lord. And one of the movies was one of the Godfather chapters where the woman wanted her son, and she's standing at the door, and she wants her son so bad. But I believe it's Don Corleone or the father or the son. He's standing there and not allowing her to have her son, okay, or their son, and got another woman at the house, and she's out there with tears in her eyes and turns around and goes back to the car. Wouldn't let her have the child. Now, he knew what kind of dirt he was mixed up in, okay? But narcissists like to live vicariously through their children. Why was that scene so touching for me? I mean, I cried and I cried. I didn't have any kids. What was wrong with me? Because back then I was sensitive to prophecy. That was a prophetic message as to what was going to happen later on in my life. Angry, tough type of individuals, right? And lo and behold, I ended up getting pregnant. Not once, but twice. To someone who had sort of that gangster type of, mentality. Not gangster in the way that you see, these rappers. None of that cartoon foolishness. But just that type of demeanor that you knew he was tough. And he wasn't going to give up easy. He wasn't going to be the type of person that was going to be reasonable. And once again, a narcissist. Okay? And the time came where, lo and behold, I had to say goodbye to my two sons for a long while. I didn't have the money, you see. Just like that woman in the movie. She didn't have the clout. She didn't have the money. She didn't have, the type of strength to go up against somebody like that. So she wanted to save herself, save her life. And she just trusted that her son was going to be all right with his dad. You see, some people, they love their children, but they know that if they make the wrong move, they could very well not be around permanently. You see. Another movie scene, Tyler Perry's movie, where there is the woman who's fighting up against her husband who had cheated on her. They had this beautiful house, more like a mansion between them, but they didn't have kids. And she didn't know that he had this affair until he ended up discarding her and found out not only did he have this affair, but he had a couple children to another woman. Okay? And the scene that touched me was her finding out. And that woman and the two kids living up in that house that the two of them shared. I cried so much on that scene. I mean, the grief was so heavy that I lost my footing. Okay? Mind you, I didn't have kids. Again. No, I had a couple, but it was to, the other relationship. I hadn't had two more at the time. I hadn't even been involved with another person at the time. So I'm like, why is this so hurtful? And here it was. At this point, I did have an understanding of the prophetic, and there it was. The future right in front of my face, except it wasn't me without the kids, it was me with the kids. And the individual talking about a house. I had enough sense to be like, oh no, not me. I ain't moving up into nobody's house that's been owned by the previous That's crazy. I'm not putting myself at risk. I don't know what the person's mentality might be like. And anyway, who wants to be looking at another woman's atmosphere that she painted or she prepped or she, but there's those women who they don't care. But I'm one who I do care. And I don't want to see any type of memory or handy project or nothing that the two shared. Okay? But I recognize that pain, that grief, because Tyler Perry, he amplified it in that movie. And that was one of those things that administered to any of us who had even a little connection to the one true God. You don't get involved in that way. But it happens. It happens in ways that we can't even fathom the narcissist movie playing out. We don't realize that we're characters in the narcissist movie until stuff starts showing up that is downright evil. Until people start showing up at the doorstep or sending letters, or when they show up with photographs, or when they're talking to you and quite boldly telling you, you don't know who you're involved with. This person is not what he or she appears to be. This person is downright cold. Got a long track record dealing with various women or men where their feeling is just not there. They're not compassionate. They're not loving. They're not kind. They're strict. They're controlling. They're disrespectful. And they're charming when they want something. And then the charm falls off when you no longer give them what they want. That's why for some of you all dating, you need to learn how to say no early on. Yes, absolutely. And watch how that man behaves. Watch how that woman behaves. No to the sex, no to the money, no to coming over. Just watch. Who says that you got to say yes to everything? No, I want to see what I'm working with when you get mad. I'm going to put you through the test. I'm going to put you through that fire because I want to see the ugly show up. And if I can deal with the ugly. That's what some of you all need to be doing, singles, or just out of relationships and then jumping into another one. So much for that. The character. Let's say that you do really well and you play that role that you didn't even know you auditioned for. You are that kind, loving, sweet, patient, attractive person they always wanted. You are very accommodating, very agreeable in the beginning. But then the challenges show up and you start disagreeing and you start stating what you like and what you don't like. And you don't particularly care for some of the things that individual has brought, or you don't like that so-called service that they give you. And they claim that it's out the goodness of their heart, but it appears to be just not up to par. Person may have rushed. Person may not have even considered your thoughts, your feelings, didn't even ask you any questions, but assume that you're supposed to like whatever they bring to the table. But you don't. And so you start speaking up. And that individual goes, whoa, wait a minute. She's not playing the role that I envisioned. She is not like the movie that I love. She is not behaving in the way that I told other people that she should behave. Who is this? Ooh, you see it? The mental issues that go on with the narcissist. Now, any logical, functional, healthy human being knows that, we don't follow scripts and there is no ideal. There is no perfect. But no, in the narcissist world, there is a perfect one for me. What are you talking about? And you are going to be the character that I want you to be. Oh, you're not going to be? Are you crazy? I molded you. I shaped you through my money, through my charm. I told you what I expected of you. And you delivered in the beginning, and you're supposed to keep doing that. Don't you understand? Victim? Ooh. I didn't know I was supposed to do all of that. I told you when I sent you the emails, when I checked off all my dating preferences, when I told you what I like and don't like in women. I mean, what did you think? But I didn't think I was supposed to play that role every single day, all day, round the clock, because I'm still a human being. I still have frailties. Even God said that there's no one perfect but him. What's wrong with you? Why are you treating me this way? Why am I not allowed to make mistakes? Ooh. You see? You are not the character any longer. So guess what the narcissist is going to do? Okay, I got to update somebody. The narcissist is going to start scouting for new. Yes, I know you don't want to hear it for some of you all. But he's going to start scouting for new actors and actresses, depending on what the sexuality is. Yeah, he is. He's scrolling, he's swiping, he's texting. He's looking for his supply. He may have already been connected with his supply. Got that woman or that man dangling around his or her finger. And you're still thinking that you're in the lead role. But no, you're not, because you see, you improvised. You went off script. And so now he's got to look for someone else to be in the lead role. Now you're still somewhere in the background. He didn't put you in extra status yet. But you on your way as he gets more and more characters for his movie. That's when they stop calling. That's when they stop coming around for a while. Then when those people figure out how this game is played, then he comes back and says, do you want to be a lead in my movie? You better say no. Oh, for those of you all who have gotten out of the relationship, you say no. I'm done. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't come around me. I am done. I don't want to be the lead character in any of your movies. I don't want to be a sidekick. I don't want to be an extra. I don't want to be anything to you. I don't want to be connected or affiliated with you. Well, what about a character in my business? No. What about a character, part-time lover? No. What about me coming over and cooking for you? Because I know you like my cooking. No, I don't want any of it. You know we had such good times, baby. Come on now. You know I love you. You are sweet. You are divine. And all I want to do is make you mine all over again. Come on with your fine self. Oh, that's straight. That's straight pimp. Oh, every now and again, yes, the street is going to show up and show out. Look, I don't want to be a character in your movie. You remember some of the things we used to do? I still don't want to be a character. You better go ahead on, girlfriend, and take that cold shower. Because, see, that's what drew you to the narcissist was the smooth, cool, laid back, or the professional, right? The one who appears to be very caring and friendly. He may not be like the pimp, but instead he is just that individual that, he's like Barbie's husband Ken. I mean, real people, right? Real people who want you to play out their fantasy. Wow. You never looked at it quite like that, did you? He has the script. She has a script. Okay, now, I need a person that's going to be able to understand me, grow with me, be a potential father. Let's see what else. Have a reverence for God. Right. And so this script is written out, or it's, like I said, posted everywhere. And she meets the individual and she realizes, well, he's not into God, but that's okay. I can make him I can make him be that one that loves the Lord. Come on now, Christian women. You can't make a man love the Lord like you do. You got to learn from your brokenhearted, wounded sisters who are no longer in their relationships, marriages. And compromising, really, is the narcissist worth giving up your personal relationship with Christ? I did it. And let me tell you what that led to. That led to me being a servant to that man. That led me to thinking about that man when I woke up and thinking about that man when I went to bed. That led me into believing that if I wasn't as spiritual or religious or whatever else, that he would love me more. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter what I changed. It didn't matter how quiet I got about the Lord. And it didn't matter how many times I decided I wasn't going to invite him to church because I didn't want to offend him. He was still looking for someone else to be in the lead role. Because, like I said, the minute I disagreed, the minute I stood up for myself, the minute that I called him out on some of the things that wasn't all that bad, but, we need to make some adjustments if we're going to be living together, or we need to be able to communicate about some very important matters. And I communicated at the wrong time, or he didn't like the tone of my voice, or he just didn't feel like doing something. And so it was offense after offense after offense. And these narcissists do not let go easily of those things that you offended them on. They're very unforgiving, resentful, and they are also petty because they find these little ways to passively pay you back or make themselves feel avenged. Who wants to be in these immature relationships? Raise your hand. I don't think so. Right? We don't want to be in somebody's script. We don't want to be the character. If you find yourself writing this story in your head over and over again of what you want out of someone, and you want them to play this fantasy role, and time again, it doesn't pan out, understand there's something wrong in your thinking. Stop saying that they're wrong for you. They're wrong for you. Something is wrong in your thinking if you think that that person is going to always be the one who follows the script. That works in an industry where people are paid actors and actresses, right? So yes, they have to do that if they want to get a paycheck. They have to follow the producer's directions, the script, all of that. But the narcissist, even the one who is paying, expects you to be something that you're not. But you should not think that anything that narcissist is putting before you that sounds like his way and only his way, or her way and only her way, is normal, because it's not. It's one thing if people are making suggestions to better the household, for instance. Okay, we need to organize. We need to put socks where socks go. We need to, that's all things like that. That's not anybody being controlling. That's just somebody making sure that the atmosphere is functional for everybody. Okay. And then you find out, hey, I like this suggestion. This is good. It's good. I like this. Right. And you get excited about it. But in the narcissist world, what they're suggesting, what they're complaining about, or what have you, is just so oppressive. You feel like you can't move right. You can't move left. They're not trying to make things in decency and order. No, they're making things chaotic. They're looking for the explosion in the movie. They're looking for it. Okay. Normal functional people are trying to find ways to prevent it. The narcissist looks at his suggestion, his ideas, his everything to be front and center, even when it's not workable, even when it's not logical, even when it's not healthy for the family. But we're going to try it anyway because it's my movie and I'm paying good money for everybody to be here. Their good money is, a roof over their head, which you happen to partake in. Their good money is the things that they purchase for the household or what have you, but they also use those items too. I mean, good money is the money that doesn't pay off anything. Okay? If he or she does even give you any money. Okay? It's just enough. It's never going to be so much where you could be able to move out of their lives. That ain't going to happen. And it's never going to be the type of money where it's all yours. No, because they're going to figure out ways where, oh, yes, you're going to have to dig in that money that I gave you in order for certain things to get bought. Right? And God sees it. And so God says, okay, here's what I'm going to do for you and your narcissistic male friend, husband, or narcissistic wife, girlfriend, or what have you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it up so that you are no longer dependent on that narcissist. Okay, so you're going to have your own money. You're going to have your own space. You're going to have your own what have you in the relationship until I can bring you out of it. Okay, I don't want the narcissist to end up doing something that will kill you. So you have to work with me. But what happens when you're angry and you're emotional and you end up being that character that's going off? Okay. What happens is that you end up getting hurt because you didn't do things systematically. You didn't do things in a way that God showed you, or that your counselors, who are professionals when it comes to exit plans, told you. So you find yourself being abused, okay, by that one who may have been threatening before, and you dismissed it, and you thought by cussing and fussing and acting up a little bit in that movie that, oh well, he'll just walk away. That producer of his fantasy or her fantasy movie is going to figure out how to once again pay you back. And so for the violent narcissist, there will be that scene in his movie or her movie where they not only envision putting their hands around your throat or punching you or stabbing you or kicking you, but they're going to actually play that scene out because they've seen the movie before in their household growing up, or they've seen it in all those movies that they watched. And they've got to feed whatever it is on the inside that's going to make them feel at peace for you not following the script, not playing the role that they wanted you to play. Once they feel at peace, having put their hands on you or doing something that just blew your mind, then they will continue on with recruiting others for the roles that they have in mind, while they put you further and further in the background somewhere. They'll find something for you to do because, hey, narcissist always has something for someone to do that is suitable, not once again for the collective, but solely for themselves. That's the difference. That's why we don't put labels on people for things that we know really don't show selfishness, right? We got to be selective, be very careful about that, because the narcissist has people around him or her that aren't necessarily narcissists. So we don't lump them all in one character or one group. Those characters may not be anything like the narcissist. That is something that I have to share, is that the fantasy world is not just about you, even though they will make you feel like it's all about you. But they've got other people in the movie, and those people serve various purposes. So it's the one who listens, maybe a relative or an old friend or an ex, Then there is the character who is the one they can borrow money from, right? There is the character who may potentially be a babysitter in the future / lover. There is the character who is the errand runner when I'm down, when I need something. That person could be somebody that they work with who goes out and gets lunch and coffee for them. The narcissist has the character who will make them more money. Okay. That one that's going to make sure that they are wealthy or on their way to being wealthy. Then there are those other characters, and I'm sure you can name some of those as you are thinking about this movie, this fantasy world that you got stuck in because you didn't know that you were auditioning long time ago for this role in the Narcissist movie. Okay. So I hope I made it plain for some of you all today. Yes, we are still on that narcissist trip every now and again, analyzing, evaluating, figuring some things out, and of course, safeguarding ourselves. And once again, cleaning house and getting rid of some more people, because over the years, literally, it took years for me to systematically remove narcissists out of my life. Okay. And we're still cleaning up. So I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Blessings to you. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. And thank you in advance if you feel so moved to give. Once again, may God richly bless you as well as those that you love.